welcome back to the Unstoppable You podcast. Hi, welcome. I'm Evie. I'm your host, life and confidence coach and business mentor. And we're back with another beautiful episode for the Unstoppable You podcast. You're in for a treat today. We are talking about the 3 strategies that are working really well right now. I did this style podcast episode last year sometime, and it was one of the most downloaded, most recorded, most listened to rather episode. And I knew that this was I knew it's a real goodie. We all want this. We all need this, right? But also, I just felt like we needed to update it. I still believe in some of those strategies and things that I talked about end of last year when I first shared that episode. So we'll link it below if you want to go check that one out. But this is the updated, relevant one for 2025. It's May 2025 when we're recording this. If you're listening to it in hindsight, many of these concepts I think will still probably be relevant. However, yeah, this is a more up-to-date version. So I'm excited to share that with you in just a moment. I've also got a juicy quote that I'm going to share with you. But first and foremost, the doors to the Strategy and Soul Mastermind are open. I'm so excited for this next round. We are kicking off at the end of May 2025, this next round, end of May, essentially through till the end of the year, which I'm really excited for, to support you through this next season of your business, this next up level in your life and your business. And I'm really, really excited for this one. So we've got so much in store for you. It's the beautiful blend of life and business coaching and business consulting, right? You're going to get so many resources and knowledge and skills about how to grow your business, how to market yourself, how to message yourself, how to create soulful sales and attract in your dream clients, how to build a really beautiful connected audience and community, how to create seller offers and scale and grow them, and so much more. You're going to grow as a human as well through this experience. And one of my favorite parts of the mastermind is that there's both one-to-one coaching support and the group experience, obviously, where you really get the best of both worlds. So you get to have me in your ears, you get to ask me direct questions, have personalized bespoke coaching and consulting for you and your unique business, and you get to learn from your new business besties, connect together, celebrate one another, share the journey, learn from each other as well. We just had the closing ceremony for the current round of the mastermind just last night at the time of recording this. And it was so heartwarming and magical, and oh my goodness, like I'm just wildly proud of the women in this round of the mastermind, as I always am. But gosh, it always blows me away when we take this time to reflect and celebrate all of the girls, all of the wins, all the incredible journeys along the way through business and through life, and how they've grown as a leader, as a CEO, as a human, and all of the wonderful transformations that they've made inside their businesses as well. It's incredible, and it blows me away so much. And I know that you'll love that and feel really connected in that space as well. It's the best of both worlds, one-to-one and group life coaching here and there as you need, but predominantly a business coaching mastermind with so much support. So that is all linked in the show notes. Come book yourself a free call. Send me a DM on Instagram if you're interested. We'd love to chat with you about it. Invite you in. All right, let's dive into today's episode. Alrighty, here is my quote for the day. This is actually off Insight Timer, and it's a Wayne Dyer quote. Love Wayne Dyer and his work, and it goes like this. When you let go of the outcome and stop chasing your desires, what you desire starts chasing you. Wayne Dyer. I'm going to read that again. When you let go of the outcome and stop chasing your desires, what you desire starts chasing you. Food for thought, hey? Look, I'm a huge fan and believer and teach, the art of declaring the goal, taking action, showing up for it, but surrendering to the outcome. When we hold on and control so tightly to the outcome, or it having to be a certain way, similar to what Wayne Dyer's suggesting in this one, when we're like holding on to that dream and that desire and like so tightly interwoven with that when we release some of the control and we surrender, then I think it's an art to do, right? It's an art of doing that. But I think that's when things starting to manifest and come into your world. Alrighty, let's talk about the 3 strategies that are working really well right now. the updated version of this podcast episode. So number one, I want to talk about email marketing. Okay, I wanted to do a podcast on email marketing, and maybe there's still a whole podcast episode dedicated to email marketing. But I shared this on my recent free masterclass. I was like, if you're not doing email marketing, then what the heck are you doing? Like, email marketing really needs to be part of your marketing strategy. And it is really a no-brainer because it is the only platform that essentially you are in control of. You own, in quotation marks, so to speak. You know, we know that Facebook can go down for 24 hours. It can go down forever. You can lose TikTok. We've seen this in the past. You know, some people have lost their Instagram accounts. I still have a dear friend in a similar industry and business who completely lost her account, her Instagram account, and so had to start from scratch again, essentially. And so I just wanted to share that as just a nice reminder that yes, those platforms are great and we should be using them as part of our marketing strategy, or at least some of them. Social media is a big part of your marketing. However, it shouldn't be your end all and be all, and that we want to be doing this alongside some other really great strategies like email marketing. These are like your VIPs, if you like to think about it. These are the people that have opted in, have put their name and their email down to, normally in exchange for a freebie, in exchange for some value, to receive your emails, to receive emails from you, your weekly newsletter, or however often you send that out. And so these are people who want to be in your world and want to step close and want to hear from you regularly. And having, you know, social media, it's its own sort of ball game. But emails is completely separate from that, right? Because you're jumping into someone's inbox. Like, that's quite an intimate thing, right? Like, you're getting to come into their world a little bit more. And I think that that's such a privilege, and we should see that as something we're really grateful for. And I want you to start really loving on your email list. If you haven't got one already and you're in the earlier stages of your business and laying down some great foundations, please make this part of your to-do list to create a really great freebie or an opt-in, a lead magnet, we like to call it. And that kicks off your email newsletter. That helps you grow your email list, essentially, your beautiful community on your email list. So firstly, perhaps that's in the pipelines for you, getting that set up. And if you are a little bit further down in your business, you've already got this set up. Maybe you've got a freebie, maybe you've got an automated welcome email or sequence there. Amazing, great work. Are you fostering that? Are you consistently fostering your email marketing list or not? Loving question for yourself here. And if not, can this please be your invitation and loving nudge to get back into doing your newsletter and your email marketing? Now, what I see working really well in terms of email marketing, we've sort of seen a few shifts, especially in the time that I've been in business online. There's been a few shifts and changes, but what I've seen is we're kind of coming back to more of like a typical newsletter, more of like a behind the scenes, personal touches, stories, maybe some photos or connection to you, as well as some kind of value, some kind of teaching, a resource, something that you wanted to share with them, something of value that's aligned with your ideal clients. And also a way to market yourself, a way to share your offers and sell whatever it is that you might be selling at the time. So what I see working really well is obviously doing your email marketing and fostering that consistently, but also in particular, it's about doing more of these newsletter style emails. What is great about these and why I think they're working really well is because it's adding more of the personal touches. It's more of the behind the scenes stuff that people want to hear and see and read about, right? It's a layer deeper than potentially what you could share on an Instagram post or a reel or a Facebook post or TikTok or LinkedIn, whatever it might be that you use. It's where you can really tell deeper, longer stories, and you can add more nuance, you can add more context, you can add photos, you can add so much stuff that is going to really deepen the story and make them feel more connected to you. So I think that this is a great way of doing it, is where you're telling a story about, potentially it's about yourself or your personal world or something that's going on for you. And maybe there's a really great opportunity to teach within that story. So, for example, I did one recently over Easter weekend where it was Easter Sunday. I was reflecting. I was really having a moment of deep gratitude for the beautiful business that I've created, and in turn the lifestyle that it enables me to have. And in particular, I link that so much with me being able to mother the way that I want to mother and still be the primary caregiver, as well as running a really great business. So we were doing my daughter Blake's first Easter egg hunt, and it was just one of those really fun like moments that I'll remember for a long time. It was like the first ever Easter egg hunt and her getting so excited about it. And I was like, man, this is so cool that I get to do all these things. And I was like, I'm technically working lots. I'm in a launch, like there's lots going on in my business. And yet I still get to do all these wonderful moments. And so I was sharing that story, right, which adds context, adds nuance, adds connection to me, talks a bit about my story, talks a bit about my personal journey, talks about my values, talks about, my mothering and my personal family and things that we're getting up to. And it was then a really great segue to be talking more about creating your own business and building a business that supports you just as much as it supports your clients. And so it was a really great way to teach as well as and sell, as well as sharing personal stories. So I hope that gives you an example of how you can do this. And obviously you can do this in so many different ways, lots of different ways. And there's no sort of right and wrong, but I think that combination of sharing personal stuff, behind the scenes stuff, stories, as well as like some strategies, some values, some teaching, some coaching. So like offering advice or service in the way that you serve, as well as those stories. So I think that that's what works really well right now. Okay. Number 2, the second thing that I think is working really well right now is you owning your personal brand. Now, what I mean by that, I've been talking a bit about personal brands recently. What I mean by that is like you will all have your own personal brand, and your personal brand would be either very similar to your business or it's your personal brand alongside your business. For many of you, you'll see your personal brand and your business as one and the same. Certainly for me, I see that much, my personal brand is my business. I am the business. And so your personal brand is so important. We know this. Businesses are not buying from, consumers are not buying from other big businesses and corporate companies. We're wanting to buy from people that we know. We're wanting to buy from people. We're wanting to understand the backstories. Like I was just thinking about some of my recent purchases, and I was thinking about, there's this new face cream I'm using, right? And it's this really small boutique brand who's in Australia, and I've been following her for a long time. And I buy from her because I love her work. And I'm like, how cool that she's a Kiwi. She now lives in Australia, and just really supporting her own personal brand. I genuinely love the product too, of course, but it's just so wonderful to buy from her. So I'm like, of course I will. Of course I will support her. So there's just one example, right? Of like, instead of buying a mainstream big brand, I'm going to a small business where I know the person, or I feel, at least I'm saying no, I don't genuinely know her. But I feel like I do through her marketing, through her personal branding, through her content, etc. And me following along her journey for some time now. So you might have examples of this in your own personal world as well. And I just want you to take that idea and apply it to you. That in order to stand out online, you want to be owning your personal brand. Your personal brand is you. You don't have to share all of yourself online or all of yourself through your business. You can obviously be selective around that, but making sure that it's authentic. It's you. It's your essence. It's your energy. It's your passions and interests that shine through. And really doubling down on that is going to be great for your marketing as a whole, but especially in your ability to stand out in a noisy online world. Now, I wanted to share a story as well alongside this. One of my current masterminders has shared recently how she's been really consistent with her social media and building growth and consistency there, which is amazing. But within that, in the more recent times, she feels like she's been sharing a slightly different take on Reels. So more behind the scenes stuff, slightly different B-roll angles and footage and styles that feel more true to her. And she's noticed a far greater engagement in those Reels compared to some of her previous content where it wasn't as personalized or it wasn't as reflective of her and her personal brand. And I think that that's a really great example of this. is going big on you and your personal brand and sharing that cleverly through your marketing and seeing that that is the stuff that people engage with and love more. And yeah, I think that that's just a really great example of it. And another client in the mastermind currently who's done this so beautifully and has had, sharing a whole lot more of her personal brand, her creations online, her creative process, behind the scenes things. And that's led to direct sales of her creations, of her products. And I think, again, it's a really another great example that people want to know the person behind the brand. They want to know more about you and hear and see more of that stuff. So please don't be afraid to share that if it feels good to do so. Stretchy at the first, yes, but so helpful. And then, of course, with these examples, it's like that's the stuff that people either engage with and enjoy more and like more and gets, better results essentially, and can potentially lead to more sales and more clients. So I hope that gives you some examples there of like, actually, when I double down on me and my authenticity and my marketing and really sharing me through my brand, that's when I get the results from, in terms of engagement, in terms of things that are doing really well, but it also means results as in sales and clients and attracting in your people. Yeah, people won't be able to find you if you're not being visible. So show your personal brand and share that online so much more. Alrighty. And then number 3, the last strategy is a strategy. I was going to say it's not really a strategy. It's absolutely a strategy, but it's one that's more universal. And this is just the concept of taking action and not delaying. So I wanted to speak to this a wee bit more because I think that so often, like just not showing up and not taking action, or indecision, overthinking everything, overanalyzing everything, thinking about, well, does this make sense? Should I be doing this or should I be doing that? And actually just sharing what you want to share or saying what you want to say is so important. And I feel like that links to that first piece, the second piece there around the personal brand and your content, like actually being brave and audacious to share what you want to share, to stand for something and not water things down. Like really be true to yourself, fully share your most authentic self through your brand, through your content, right? And like this third point is taking action, is that not waiting until you have like the idea perfectly formed or landed, or for the conditions to be 100% right, or for you to feel like you're quote unquote ready, or whatever it might be, because indecision or speed of decisions is so crucial in business. I remember reading Stephen Bartlett's book. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten the name right now. It'll come to me. The Diary of the CEO, of course, the Diary of the CEO. So that's Stephen Bartlett's latest book, and I think he shared this in his international talk, which I went to as well when he came to New Zealand. Anyway, this idea that that speed and making decisions quickly in business is so valuable, and that can be a huge advantage to you over someone else. And I think that's really key, is that what I see people, especially in the earlier stages when perhaps we haven't built as much momentum, or maybe we don't quite have the same clarity and confidence that perhaps you do as you've built into your business more or got support in your business, etc. But people just wait around thinking through the strategy, or thinking through the ideas or the content, or brainstorming, or just sitting with stuff longer than they necessarily need to. And I also want to say here, like a little disclaimer, this is not about actioning every single idea that you possibly have, because my bet is that you'll probably have lots of ideas, and some of them are ones that are great ideas, some of them maybe not so great, some of them are like great ideas for a later date. But this is when you've had an idea or a vision or a download, or you know that you want to do something, but you're a bit scared about it, or you're nervous about doing it, or you're waiting for the perfect strategy, or waiting to have a bigger audience or community, or not putting yourself out there for some whatever reason, and actually you know that you need to do the thing. So this is about strengthening that time in which we have the idea and the vision and the download, and when we actually action it and see it through. So Stephen Bartlett was sharing this, and he said, I can't remember the exact details now, but he was referring to two different people in business. I think it was a younger son in the business and a dad, or someone. It was someone a bit older and more kind of like, no, he wanted to think things through and have a process around it, and and the younger person was like, no, let's test it out. Let's do some Facebook ads on that. Let's test out this messaging. Let's try this out. How could we do it in this way? And the reason why the younger version or the latter version there was far more beneficial is because it got real time feedback, evidence, information, and insights that you can only get if you take the action. And so if we wait until wait until it's all formed or whatever, timing, et cetera, whatever excuse we're coming up with, then we're just delaying it. And that means someone else will come to the party before us. And it's not that it's a race, and it's not that it's like a huge competition. It's just that why not act on it so you get the clarity? Because through action comes clarity. I love this saying. It rings true for so much in life, but especially in business, that sometimes we just don't know. We've got to test things out. We've got to put some feelers out there. We've got to bounce around ideas. We've got to get some market research. We've got to put up a wait list for something, start selling something even before you've created it. I've done this several times in my business where I've sold a program before I've actually completed creating it, or even started creating it for that matter. And past self, I know early stage business owner Evie would be like, oh my goodness, I cannot do that. I do not trust myself enough to do that. But you will, and it'll come in time. And sometimes you just got to put the feelers out there, do the pilot round, take action, put the stories, the polls in your stories, do some market research, ask around, have those conversations, put it out there and see. Like, what's the worst that can happen, really? You're going to learn and grow in the process. And this is not to say, as I said earlier, this is not to say action every single possible thing and burn yourself out in the process. I think it is important to sit with some things and wait for the right timing, or wait for your capacity to be there, etc., depending on what season of life you're in, depending on your goals, your business, etc., your model of business. But for many of you, I think a key part in this, and what I want you to hear, is how can you take little action towards that consistently? Test it out, trial it out, put it out there. You really don't know until you've done that. And that's the only way that someone's going to be able to give you the evidence and give you the feedback that you really want. So often we're waiting for the confirmation that, yes, this is going to be a success, or yes, you should do this, or yeah, that messaging's going to nail the mark, or, this offer is going to be a huge success, or whatever it might be. But like, spoiler alert, we never get that until we actually do the thing. Of course, you can come to a business coach, you could come to a mentoring session, you could come inside the mastermind, and we're obviously going to give you direct feedback and support around that for sure, and make sure it makes sense for you and your business and your capacity, your goals, etc. But sometimes at the end of the day, we just got to trial it out. You just got to take action and show up for it. So lovingly nudging you there, calling you out. Okay, let's go back and recap some of these 3 strategies working really well right now. Firstly, email marketing. Yes, don't forget about your email marketing. Don't forget about nurturing your list. Show up consistently there, support them. Add more personal branding, more stories, more behind the scenes stuff, more connection to you as the personal brand, as the business owner, as well as adding value or teaching or offering whatever it might be. And of course, there's opportunities there to sell. Number 2, owning your personal brand, sharing your authenticity online, sharing your passions and your interest, sharing yourself, and being really visible in that way. And that is how you're going to magnetize the right people to you, the people that are meant to for you, your ideal clients, your dream clients, etc. And really not holding back, taking a stance on something, sharing what you want to share, standing in your thought leadership and owning that. And I think that that's really powerful. And that's where I've seen, results within myself, but also within, 2 of those examples that I shared earlier with mastermind clients, about how their engagement increased, how they got sales through DMs because of them owning their personal brand and sharing more authentically and what they really wanted to share, not what they thought that they should be sharing, right? And then lastly, taking action, not sitting or dwelling on things too long, not sort of playing in the vision too long, and actually showing up and taking action towards it. And through that action comes the clarity that gives you the feedback, that gives you the insights that you can only get when you show up and take the action. So test it out, go forth with it. Yeah, implement it, take action towards it. It's going to be so beneficial for you in many, many ways, regardless of what the exact outcome is. Alrighty, my loves, that is it for me today. Remember, doors are open for the Strategy and Soul Mastermind. Book yourself a free call. There's a link below in the show notes or the description, wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast episode. Would love to chat with you about it and see if it's the right fit for you. And I can obviously give you specific direct coaching and support on that call as well. I can't wait for it. It's going to be incredible. All right, lovely ones. I will see you again next week, but that is it from today. Bye for now.